In the past couple of years, I've seen brands that are 5 figures all the way to 9 figures. But what I've been confused by all the time is your 6 and 7 figure brands tend to be so much more productive than your 8 and 9 figure brands. And really the key here is to put the right people in the right seats. You really don't need a lot of people to make ads. With the advent of AI, the barrier to make a static is so much lower. You don't have to hire somebody for that. So I'm going to show you how to build a lean ads team from the ground up. We're going to start from 5 figures all the way to 9 figures. We're going to start from 5, 6, 7, 8, mid 8, and then 9 figure here. So let's start with a 5 figure brand. And really, all you need here is one person, and that's going to be likely you. If you don't want to be handling all the ads, then obviously you can hire somebody a marketing operator who does this for a living. You can also find a performance strategist that does this. So this person is going to be doing the creative strategy, and they're going to be making the ads themselves through AI. And they're going to be setting up the campaigns, setting up the funnel, that's your landing page, PDP, and then uploading the creatives. This is not too complicated to do, especially if you're doing 5 to 6 figures annually. You're probably handling right around $100 to $300 a day. Yeah, you're not going to be producing a lot of creatives. If you have zero time to make creatives at this level, there's probably an operational problem that you're facing. So I would say that if you're mid 5 figure or you haven't even hit 6 figure year, then you'd be able to make all the ads yourself. You don't need to hire an agency or even a freelancer for that. You can do it yourself. So in terms of tools that you can do the creation of ads here, you could use Higgsfield for statics. You can even use it for AI videos. And in terms of setting up the campaign, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that tells you how to set it up properly when you're running it at a low spend. I also have another video that walks you through how to set it up if you're doing 5 or 6 figures. And then going from 6 to 7 figures here, really all we need to do is to add one more person. So assuming the performance strategist is not you, then you just add one person, which is a hybrid editor. A hybrid editor basically is somebody who can do statics and videos at the same time, and they can also ad hoc do iterations on their end. So this is not just someone who knows how to make videos and statics, but this is someone who also understands the fundamentals of direct response advertising. So the performance strategists, they're going to be doing the same thing as they were doing from 5 to 6 figures. Now, instead of just having one person to produce all the ads, now you have 2 people. You have double the manpower to produce more ads to get to 7 figures annually. In terms of working with creators on this end and working with photographers and videographers, your performance strategists can actually just use platforms like Billo or even icon.com to source the right type of UGC creators, because you don't really need to hire a creative strategist to do that for you. A creative strategist probably costs around minimum $90K a year to $120K a year. If you're just starting out 6 to 7 figure a year, that's really expensive. So you want to stay lean at this time. And I've also structured this video here so each position here has a place to go up to, because performance strategists, they're probably going to get bored after 5 years of working in this position. So we want to make sure that they have a place to move up to as the brand grows. Same thing for a hybrid editor. Now we're going into the real deal here, which is 7 to 8 figure, low 8-figure brands. So we've gone from one performance strategist to now adding a dedicated creative strategist and another editor. The amount of editors here is dependent on the number of SKUs that you have. So obviously, if you have a lot of SKUs that you have to make a lot of creatives for, then obviously you would need more editors. So this type of structure would be able to produce right around 100 different concepts every month. So if you multiply that by 2 variations or 3 variations, that's right around 200 to 300 separate ads. And obviously this is with the use of AI. Use Claude, use ChatGPT, whichever AI platform that you want to use. Okay, so how do we differentiate the work between the performance strategist and the creative strategist? The difference between these two at a glance is this is a data guy with a little bit of creative, and this is a creative guy with a little bit of data. So performance strategists, they're still going to be setting up the campaigns, uploading the creatives, funnel optimization. So that's going to be your CRO, lifecycle / retention. They're also going to be setting up your email and your SMS. That is just a one-time thing that they can set up. If they've set it up already when you were doing around 6 figures or even 5 figures, then that's not something that you should be changing a lot. And obviously performance reporting with this creative strategist, because the creative strategist has to know the data side of things, and they can go into the ad account themselves and see what changes and what are the learnings from that week. They're going to be writing the ads. They're going to be doing a little bit of project management between these two editors. So they're going to be the person who's assigning the tasks to these two, making sure that they have the right division of work. They're also going to be the one who's doing the iteration, submitting the creatives to the editor. They're also going to be doing some AI production, creative strategy, and research. This is something that you can do with AI like Hey Parker or even Motion App. And they're also going to be doing talent outreach and partner outreach. Talent means UGC creators, content creators, and if you want to have like a physical photo. So a partner is just another creative partner that you have external of the brand. So that could be an agency, it could be a freelancer, it could be a studio. And then your editor. From low 8 figures, we're now going to head into mid 8-figure brands. And this is when you get a little bit more into your full-fledged marketing / ads team. Now, we've gone from a performance strategist can have its own team by having a creative strategist. Now, as you expand, you want a growth opportunity for every person in the team. So the editor, because they are in touch with the creative, they have the ability to move up into a creative strategist. And I've met a lot of editors who actually want that growth opportunity. So this is a great way for them to move up to. So a hybrid editor can move up to a creative strategist can become a performance strategist, and a performance strategist can eventually become a growth manager. So the difference between a performance strategist and a growth manager here is that the growth management mainly focusing on the management side of things. So they are doing the campaign strategy, lifecycle / retention strategy, and they're also going to be doing data / performance reports towards the leadership. When I say leadership, it could be depending on the size of the company or the structure of the leadership. It could be towards the CEO or the CMO, or it could be towards the head of growth or head of marketing. In this structure over here, you have also a talent manager. I think this is the biggest unlock that we've suggested for 7 and even 8-figure brands to add into their team, because this person is just dedicated to outreach. If you go down to the description here, a talent manager does the influencer management, talent outreach, and partner outreach. So previously you had the creative strategist do all of this work. Now the creative strategist can just focus on making the ads and writing the ads, and then the talent manager can then focus on outreach for the creators, finding the right creator for the right brief, because that's a load of logistics that the creative strategist has to do. Now you have a dedicated person always reaching out to people. I would even put a talent manager when you're close to 8 figures in this area. Sub 7 figures, close to 8 figures, I would also add a talent manager here. Now they don't have to start as full-time. They can do a part-time, a casual position, but it is a good position to have. So leadership, growth manager, and then you have the entire pod here, which is the performance strategist, creative strategist, hybrid editor, 3 of them at least, and then a talent manager. Now, if you're lucky enough to get into the mid 8-figure brands, this is what we've seen that has worked so far. Now, we have a 9-figure brand who also structures it this way, but the only difference is that the growth manager becomes a head of marketing. So they also have a head of growth. So I actually personally do not know the exact difference between those two, so I'm not going to touch on that. But the creative team looks like this. If you're a 9-figure brand, you would just duplicate the amount of pods that you have. So this one here, this is a 1 pod, and then you have a 2nd pod. If you want to produce more creatives, then you would add 1 more pod. And each pod would be capable of producing around 100 to 150 concepts every month. And so very, very high volume at around this level here. Some brands actually do not want the logistics that comes with all of this. So what they do is they just hire multiple agencies to produce the ads for them. So one brand that we have has literally 15 different agencies in their ad account, and each agency has their own process of making ads and sourcing their ads. And so it's a great hack to have for creative diversity, because the best shortcut to creative diversity is to have multiple creative sources. And growth manager is not just the acquisition end, but it's also the retention end of things. And then you have a dedicated media buyer. So I put the media buyer as an option here because there are platforms nowadays that you can use to upload your creatives really, really quickly. And also there are a lot of reporting platforms like Motion App that can do the reporting for you. Triple Whale has Mobi that can do the reporting for you, and you can connect it with your AI to just have a custom reporting format for you, and that just makes it so much easier to show the numbers to the entire team. Yeah, definitely optional, but the good thing is that a media buyer can be a performance strategist, and that is something that they can train towards. So in terms of the growth opportunity for each position here, like I said, a performance strategist can become a growth manager in the future, and the media buyer that you have can become a performance strategist, or the creative strategist can become a performance strategist. There's only one case where I saw a creative strategist become a media buyer. If you love data that much and you want to leave the creative, then go for it. In terms of the talent manager here, the only growth opportunity that I see a talent manager becoming towards is more of handling partnerships. So not just focusing on talent outreach and partner outreach, but also content creator partnerships. So macro influencers. So they would have 1 or 2 VAs under them to handle the outreach, and they would be the ones, approving and disapproving creators on a daily basis. So this is what I think a lean team of creatives would look like. Obviously, this is my opinion, so you can structure it however you want. There's a lot of flexibility here, but if I see a 6 to 7 figure brand having 7 people in their creative team, I have to question, like, what's the use of having 7 people? Because you can do the work of 7 people with 2 people nowadays, thanks to AI.